Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Hako episode number 7 reaction. Okay, the previous episode we got to see Hina's part of the whole situation. She obviously didn't really like the fact, not like, but she was kind of sad about the fact that Taiki didn't tell her about the situation with Chinatsu, and she was kind of like feeling depressed and everything, and that made her like mess up in her practice and all that, and it kind of deteriorated as it went more and more, and she thought about it more and more, and also the fact that she didn't realize or didn't want to realize that she likes Psyche, that was also another thing. But by the end of it, she bounces back up and becomes good at the practice again and tries doing better again, and then she kind of hurts her leg and Taiki helps her out. In the end, when she kind of in a very cryptic way talks about the situation with Taiki tells her that, oh, you're not the type of person to give up in this situation, are you? At which she's like, yeah, I'm not. And now she has decided to keep pursuing her feelings, because who knows what might happen in the future. Right, and yeah, so that's what happens. So let's see what happens today in this episode. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. Three, two, one, go. Taiki's and Shinatsu's second. Okay. Can I have one? Okay. Whoa. Damn. Yeah, the sheer amount of people practicing at the same time is crazy. Oh. It's like, bro, I'm tired. You'll get used to yo. Damn. Wow. Damn. Yo. Wow. Even he has a rival. Well, obviously, everyone. Hmm. Yeah, that is true. Hmm. Yeah. Well, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Wow. Yeah, he has written it down. Damn. Yeah, about that. Yeah, I'm sure she is. Well, she loved his other match that she watched, you know. Um, hmm. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, she's like, what the hell? Who the hell is this? And then she realized. Startled her. Oh, wow, she literally said the thing that he was thinking. What? Okay. Wow. You know what? Okay, you convinced me. It's good. Met by chance junior move. Alright, that's convincing enough. Wow. Alright. Yeah, thinking of it as a workout. Oh god. Huh? Bruh. Hmm. Okay. What? Oki? Oki Shrine. Okay. Right. Well, you know. Hmm. Mm. Okay. Oh yeah, they're not here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I think this is the first time we're seeing basketball like Chinasu play properly. We've seen Taiki play badminton. Oh, Natsu, Chinatsu. I was like, who's Natsu? Oh, damn. Okay. So they won? Okay. I don't know the scoring system and all that. I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. The cargo. Okay. Oh, the okay. Hmm. What? Who's that? Oh. Oh, they were recording the. But yeah, you'll just. Wow. Let's leave them. Yeah, I guess. That's why they were like, recording. Well, if you underestimate them like that, you know, you know what? We'll see. Wow. Hmm. Oh, they're getting ready. Yeah. Oh, they're coming here. Okay. I thought they were going back home or something. Hmm. Well, they will be facing one of the strongest, opponents. Hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that's the same on the other side as well. Like, I'm sure they also have their own stories, their own, situation. But, that's so awkward. Wow. Oh, wow. And she's going to improve. Damn. Yeah, that is true. Actions speak louder than words. What? Yeah, that's okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Is this Taiki? Yeah, he got him. Oh wait, he won. Okay, I don't know. Again, I don't know how the scoring system works. So wait, he got one. Okay. Hmm. Okay. You cannot predict it. Yep. Oh, there you go. Nice. And here we go. Oh. Well, yeah, he couldn't go that quick. Yeah, because if this happened in a tournament, someone could have gotten a point off of him like that. So he realized it before that happened because of Taiki, I guess. So just like Taiki is improving, he's also, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought. True. Wow. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, considering that Haryu has been, like practicing this for so much more than him because he's, a senior. I don't think that's going to happen that quickly. Hmm. Oh yeah, he did. No, but I guess he'll wait for ask her out. Yeah. Oh my. Okay, you know what? That's you. You just jumping far ahead. Yeah, so he's gonna wait up until everything is. Mm. Well, it's not as if he's going to wait indefinitely. He's going to just wait for a particular amount of time. Oh, these guys. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're just bringing in more friends. Yo. Wow. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Hmm. Mm, well, oh, oh my God, they brought even more people in. Uh, oh boy. Yeah. This is protein. Hmm. Um. Yeah. Yo. Oh my God. He's like, okay, take the whole thing. I have no problem. Yeah, I don't think that's why she took it. She took it because Hina took it from him. Oh boy. Hmm. She can be honest with her, you know. She's free. Yeah, you think so? Oh God. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. That was today's episode. Okay, so that was episode number 7 of Aono Hako. Today we had basically, I guess you could say this was like a kind of like a preparation. We saw a little bit of Chinatsu and like her playing basketball like in like a proper, like not the practice. We've kind of seen her practice once and twice, but like a proper match. We see her playing with everyone else, even though it wasn't really shown that much. They just showed her scoring like a basket. And yeah, also we got to know their opponents who were like who they lost to, I think, the previous year. So this time, yeah, they're also going to be going up against them. And turns out they are underestimating them, and that's why they were like like recording their match. So obviously, like, okay, so here's the thing, like I can understand like recording and kind of studying your opponents, that makes sense. But at the same time, basing the fact that, oh, like, oh, yeah, they won't be able to win because it seems like they haven't improved, that I feel like is a very big, um like you're like underestimating your enemy too much in that way. Like, yeah, you can get some reference points from looking at a match, uh you know but and here's another thing. We won the match, like like Chinatsu's group won the match that they were having with that current group. And that means obviously Chinatsu's group was way more like stronger than the others. So, like, I don't think it's, I don't know. Again, I'm not really in the sports thing, so I cannot really say that much with confidence. But I feel like it's kind of, it's not clever to kind of see that match and think about, and like try to predict how good they are by seeing a match that they won. Like if the match was going like like very close and they were like like it was like a very close tied match, then I could understand. But I feel like like a match that they won, uh maybe they has more in store. You cannot really say that by just watching a video. So maybe when they will be fighting them, not fighting, sorry, when they will be playing the basketball ball match against them, they are way better than the other group. So maybe then we will see Chinatsu's group's true potential, that kind of thing. So again, I don't know, but then again, like make taking it as a reference, that's okay, I guess. But I like I'm thinking they're kind of underestimating them because in the previous year they lost to them, and now they're like, oh, like they haven't improved, that kind of thing. um yeah, and then we had the whole section of her teammates being like, oh, that girl, what was her name? Nagisa, wasn't it? Yeah. She said something like, oh, like they don't know Chinatsu's like situation and everything. We know how she's struggling to like do all these things. And yeah, obviously, like even though Taiki and his family is very like friendly and everything, still, like living in some other person's place for like an extended amount of time, it is a bit nerve-wracking. Like you're kind of always just thinking like, oh no, like like should I do something like this, should I do like in your home, you're just free, you can like like you have like your peace of mind, you can just loiter around anywhere, go anywhere, everywhere, and just do your own thing. But in someone else's house, you're always thinking like, oh, should I do this, should I do that, this and that. So it doesn't matter how friendly or how much the the people in whose house you're living. It is a nerve-wracking situation. So on top of that, she has her own like situation to think about with the upcoming matches. So like Nagisa was like, yeah, that's what she's going through, and they don't know that, so they can say stuff like that. At which obviously that is true, and at the same time you can say the same thing about them as well. We might not know something else is going on with their group. Their group might have some people, some students who are facing a similar situation as Chinatsu. Maybe something even worse than Chinatsu. Who knows? So yeah. But then again, I guess her whole argument was basically that they are judging us based on just looking at us. So we aren't really doing that. So I can agree with that to her at least. Like, yeah, they are judging us based on like the fact that they just saw like a video. and being like, oh, they're not, like they're not strong enough, they're still the same, basically that. So yeah, that is true. Like we aren't really judging them though; they are judging us and underestimating us. But the interesting thing about this whole conversation is that when all of that was done, like she had her conversation. She talked about that. Nagisa talked about that with her friend. Taiki was kind of eavesdropping on it. Chinasu also was eavesdropping on him, eavesdropping on it. That after all of that happened, you know, Chinasu, when Taiki was like, "Oh, don't worry about it," like it's fine, like they, like I'm sure, like like you guys will do, better, and everything will be okay. Like they don't know you. At which Chinasu was like, "Oh no, but I will think about this, and I'm going to show them that because as she said, they are not wrong. Like obviously they are also professionals. They, after watching us, whatever verdict they came to, there must be some truth to it. So yeah, I must be lacking somewhere, and I myself know about it. So I'm going to try to improve on it. Instead of not thinking about it and like kind of patting us on the back and be like, oh, everything's fine. Like they don't know us. I'm going to think about it. And I'm going to do something about it. That is such a great line. I wasn't expecting her to say anything like that because I feel like people nowadays need to understand this, what Chinasu said today. Like, not only here, but I feel like in reality as well, especially nowadays, this generation needs to understand this what Chinasu said here is like, instead of like yeah, what, sometimes it's necessary to kind of pat yourself on the back, but not every time. Like today the world has become a world, at least that's what I think, where everyone's patting themselves on their backs, and the main problem, they're not even trying to think about it, and they're like, oh, like they're the nasty one, like it's fine, like I have confidence in myself. That is good. Like I said, it's some situations that is good, like having confidence in yourself and patting yourself on the back, it is necessary, but not all the time. And I feel like this episode, like with Chinasu saying that, was such an eye-opener. Like I wasn't expecting her to say that. That really caught me off guard. And I feel like her attitude is very appropriate for someone who's doing like a sports, like instead of patting yourself in the back and being like, oh, they don't know us, we are like, we know our situation, and like, and kind of just like for a temporary amount of like like I guess you could say um happiness, you're just like, oh, everything is fine, like they don't know us, we are doing our best. Shinasu decided to take it as a challenge, and that is necessary for something like sports. And like I was saying, like people nowadays need to understand about this. Instead of always like just patting yourself on the back, sometimes we might need to stop and think like, what, they're saying something like that. Maybe there is something going on. Let me think about it and let me improve on it. So, because yeah, like people nowadays are just I'm not going to say anything, but in social media and everything, you see this whole thing about people just gassing themselves up, and without even realizing that, oh, maybe I'm wrong, I'm in the wrong. They're just like just absolutely insane. Either way, that really surprised me, and like I wasn't expecting chances to say something like that. But as a sportsman, sportswoman, that was the a very good and a very appropriate attitude to have. Instead of just being like, oh, everything is okay, we know. She was like, okay, they're saying this, so I'm going to show them. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that was like the main part of today's episode that I wanted to discuss about Chinasu taking that as a challenge, I guess you could say. Um, Other than that, what else? Oh, also the fact that Taiki and Haryu now, like just like how Taiki is like able to now like kind of strike back at Haryu and gain a few points from him, you can see Haryu also was able to realize his own mistake on the fact that he, you know, the way he does his thing can be countered. He was able to improve on that as well. So it's not only Taiki, but Haru also was able to understand something important before his main match, and he said something like, oh, thank God I was able to like work on this and understand like this might happen before the tournament. If this happened during the tournament, yeah, that would have been a messy situation. Like if someone like Taiki was there in the tournament and he played like this and they returned like that, then that would have been difficult, because Hari wouldn't be able to properly do it. So now that he has realized that this is what Taiki is doing, there might be someone else out there who might do the same thing. He's like, I can improve on this as well. So that was kind of nice. Usually, I don't know. I guess like in animes and everything, usually, especially like sports stuff. Usually, we kind of focus on the main character, and like the other characters kind of become like the sacrificial lamb for them. Like like if this was like in some other show or whatever, I feel like Hari wouldn't be able to counter that back, and like Taiki would have won that, and Taiki would have been like, yes, like I did it, and that would have been the end of the whole story. But I like the fact that this show not only focuses on obviously Taiki and Chinatsu, the main characters, but it also gives like the same kind of treatment to the other characters as well. Just like how Taiki is growing, others are growing as well. So it's not like a like this show isn't really like the whole power balance isn't like shifted. Like usually, I don't know, like I haven't seen much sports anime, but I'm assuming most of the sports anime also has like a shonen type of like style, where like the main character is the one who like improves like the most, and all the most of the other characters kind of become like a sacrificial pawn for them, like, oh, they lose against them and everything. And the power balance is kind of like that. But it's kind of nice to see a show where it's not just Taiki who's like improving, and the others are just like props for him to use for his own growth. um they are also like living, growing human beings. And just like that, Hari was able to understand what is wrong with his play after seeing that Taiki countered it like that, and he was able to improve on that. You know, but whatever is like all that aside, it is true that Taiki is growing. Like, and he's at least able to like strike back a few and get a few points off of him. Which he wasn't able to do up until now. So yeah, that was what it the whole thing. And then obviously the final section where they were eating like like stuff, and Hina comes in, and you can see this is where, like in the previous episode, we saw Hina saying something like, oh, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to keep going. She immediately puts it into practice, and she was like, oh, like give me one, and she like forcefully takes one karage. And and the funny thing is, like, Chinatsu sees that, and Chinatsu's like, oh, I want one as well. Kind of like that. Obviously, like Taiki is like, did she really wanted to eat that karage that much? And I'm like, bro, yeah, you think so? Oh my god. Obviously, like Chinatsu did that because she saw Hina doing that, and that's why she, like I guess she said like, I'm jealous about the fact that obviously Hina can be true to her, like feelings. And not only that, but like I'm saying true to her feelings, but I doubt Chinatsu understands the whole situation. She probably doesn't even understand her own feelings towards Taiki, or if she has any. But I guess she's jealous about the fact that Chinatsu could be this free. Also, the fact that they don't have to hide their friendship. Like Taiki and Hina. For Chinatsu and Taiki, they are like kind of hiding it because if like, yeah, otherwise other people will be like, oh, how do you know each other, this and that. And it would have been one thing if they were in the same class or whatever, like she's a senpai, and usually like like underclassmen and upperclassmen, unless and until there's like a specific situation, you don't really become friends like that. So people will definitely ask, be like, oh, like like you're quite friendly with him, what is something the matter, this and that. A lot of questions will come up, so to avoid all of that. And that's why also previously, Taiki, the way Taiki helped Chinatsu to carry the bag was basically he's like, oh, hello, like he did the whole like simulation where he was like as if he came out of nowhere and met her on the street, and he decided to help her out, and and take carry the bag. Basically, that type of excuse. If someone sees them, they'll be like, "Oh, so basically this happened." So yeah. Anyways, good episode, and yeah, let's wait and see. I'm looking forward to seeing Chinasu's basketball match against the other group. I'm sure they'll show it to us a little bit at least. If not, they don't really show it like a proper match. They're probably going to show it a little like how they showed Taiki's match. They'll probably show it like that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that because we've seen like Taiki play badminton. We haven't really seen Chinasu play basketball in that sense. We've just seen her score, and that's all. So we'll let's see. And I'm also looking forward to see whether they'll be able to defeat the other group, because the other group is, they've established the fact that the other group is really strong. So now I'm saying like waiting for what's going to happen. Right. And yeah, and that was today's episode. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, you can see Taiki looks at the calendar, and it's like written there that, oh no, this day is, Chinatsu's, like main day. And then back in school, Taiki's practicing against Haru, and Taiki's like, oh, one more match, Haru senpai. And Haru's and he's losing, every single time. So Haru says, like, keep losing, and that'll become your image. And that's a very interesting thing he says here, which I guess I can understand. If you keep losing to someone, you'll get used to losing, and I don't think that is wise in this situation. You obviously, he knows that he cannot lose in the main day, but he's just so used to losing that that'll be difficult to kind of yeah. So I can understand that, I can understand that whole thing. So yeah. And then the other guys were like, oh, Haru, aren't you talking about yourself, that guy, what's his name, Hyodo, you ended up third in the prefecture, so yeah. Anyways, he gets a little bit pissed there. Either way, um yeah, he also says, like, I want to solo practice myself as well. So and he also says that if we are together like doubles, that's fine. If we're enemies, then that's yeah. So I'll need to, you need to solo practice as well. So yeah. Either way, that was that. Outside, they get to see the girls. The basketball club girls are there, and you know okay. So all right, so this is where Chinatsu kind of talks about how she knows when the badminton has the their tournament, their group, and they talk about next Saturday is the basketball girls their match, and when they're like, oh, how do you know about the badminton schedule? He's like, I read the notice, the board, and it's written over there. She also reads the poems that the that the principal writes and all. The news teller, yeah. Okay, then later on, we see Taiki going back to, after school, and meets Chinatsu on the road, and he's like, oh, should I call to her? Like, what will other people say? This and that. And then when he sees other people's commenting on, oh, how Chinatsu is, it's like those two dudes who are like, oh, what a cute girl, or something like that, they say. Taiki's like, okay, you know what? I need to do I need to be more proactive. And he goes and he's like, oh, Chinatsu senpai, what a coincidence. Shall I carry your bag? At which Chinatsu says exactly what he thought Chinatsu was going to say. She says the same thing. She's like, oh, but it's kind of embarrassing. And then he's like, okay, you know what? I have just the plan for that. Let me retry it. He goes back and he comes back again, and he's like, oh, what a coincidence. My place is in that direction too. I can help you out. This will help me boost my physical, endurance by carrying your bag. Come on, let's go. Obviously, that will be the excuse if people sees them walking together. And they kind of could keep this going, where Chinatsu's like, oh, you know what? I kind of moved on to into a new place, and he's like, oh, how are the people there? He's like, oh, they're nice. I like, they're very kind and everything. While he remembers, Taika is kind, he then remembers how his parents treat him. Oh boy. But anyways, yeah, and then they do like a rock paper scissors. Taiki wins, and Taiki's like, "Come, let's go somewhere." So he takes her to a shrine where they're going to pray for like the tournaments, upcoming tournaments, and they make a wish. And Taiki wishes that hopefully me and Chinasu Senpai both are able to pass, you know, whatever's going to come in front of us. Later in on the next day, back in school, they have like extra space because the basketball club girls aren't coming, and I'm always saying club, it's team. Sorry, like because I'm just used to like schools and clubs and everything. Yeah, this is like a proper team. It's not just a club. It's a proper team. Yeah. So after that, we see them on the day they're like playing against this other group, and they win. And like then Chinasu looks at the other team where like those girls are there who won the previous year. So she's kind of looking at them. We have Nagisa trying to cheer everyone up. She's just tickling everyone. She's like, "Oh, when you're happy, you should show it properly." That's why she's tickling them. Okay, so Kogohara Academy. This is the name of the other academy, and they are there, and Chinasu's looking at them, And then we have this other guy, or was that a girl? Probably a girl. Like recording their match. At first, I was like, "What's going on?" But then we get to see later on that she was just taking like a videos to kind of see and practice later on, like kind of know their enemy basically. So later on, Chinatsu and Nagisa kind of sees them or eavesdrop on them talking about them, and they're like, "Oh, they don't seem to have improved that much since the practice match we had." So it's fine. Honestly, it's disappointing. And Nagisa was pissed. She's like, "What the hell? Like, let me go and speak my mind to them." And Chinatsu's like, "No, stop! Don't do that. Like let's go. It's fine." And they go ahead, and then later on we see Taiki playing with Haryu, and Taiki's like, "I need to win at least one set before the tournament," and but Haryu is just like smashing him. Later on we see the basketball team girls come in, and they have won, but Taiki sees that they are not really happy. So Taiki goes, and he was going to try to find Chinatsu, I'm guessing, but he comes across Nagisa and the other girl, and he hears Nagisa talking about the situation, and about the fact that she's so pissed off at those girls, and that fact that they have no idea what Chinatsu is going through, her home situation and everything, and the fact that she's still giving her all on in spite of that. Chinatsu eavesdrops on this whole thing, and like Taiki talks to Chinatsu about this, and Chinatsu's like, "Oh, they're nice teammates, aren't they? Like look at them being angry on behalf of me." Yeah, and Taiki says like, "I'm jealous." Now, obviously, he says that because badminton is like a solo sport, as he said before. So having teammates who think about you like that, that's a very nice feeling, obviously. But in badmintons, at least you'll never get that feeling because you're not really a team. He himself said like it's a solo like effort, and I like it that way. But he also is like, but it's kind of nice to have teammates like this who think of you as a whole thing, which makes sense, obviously. Like your own team, your own group. Yeah, right. Either way, this is where Taiki says like, "No, don't worry about them. Like you're doing your best and everything." And just like, "No, I'm going to worry about them, and I'm going to show them, that like I'm going to win, and I'm going to show them that like they underestimated us." And yeah, like I said, this part is very like very, I really like this part because like I said, like I love the fact that Chinasu, instead of patting herself on the back and being like, "Oh, everything is fine, we're doing our best," she was like, "Okay, the fact that they're saying this must mean there's something going on, so I'll try to improve on that, and I'll show them that, and after that they will never be able to underestimate us." That is the correct attitude to have, especially in a sports like a situation. Yeah, right. And seeing this, Taiki also gets motivated, and he is able to get one set, I think, against Haru. Again, like I said, I have no idea how the like the scoring system works in badminton or basketball. I do know they have like a set or something. Like I have seen tennis a little bit. Like I think like there's like a few, like if you get a point, like there's like 15, 30, and it kind of goes like that, I think. And then after reaching like 40 or something, and then if you're able to score, then you get like one set or something. I'm guessing badminton is also the same. Again, I have no idea, but one set he's able to get against. Yeah, I think like tennis and badminton probably has the same rules. I think so, I'm not really sure. um yeah, so he's able to get one set, and he's now kind of analyzing Haru, and he's like, okay, so when I do this, Haru senpai usually acts as if like he's going to do something, but then he like what like strikes back in a very different manner in the last moment, and I know that, so I'm going to keep an eye on the racket. And he does that, and when Haru returns it like that, he counters, but then he realizes that Haru saw his counter and he countered back to that. So ultimately, he's not able to score the point there. And Haru was like, "Damn, you know what? Like, yeah, you helped me out, Taiki. Like, I, if this happened in a tournament, I probably wouldn't be able to do anything. But the fact that you countered like that made me realize that there might be someone like you out there in the main tournament that might counter my attack like that. So now I can improve on that. So I'm glad I learned that before the tournament. And like I said, I really like the fact that like everyone here is growing. Not only just the main character has like a like a sudden growth, like just yeah, like everyone's a living growing human being in this show. But obviously, like Taiki is the main character, Chinasu is the main character. They'll probably grow a little bit more, but yeah. Either way, so this continues, but in the end, the coach is like, guys, go back. Like you have the main match after this. Like just get rest. You just like yeah. Otherwise, on the main day, you'll not be able to do anything. Either way, they go back. Like Taiki and Kyo, and Taiki's like very confident now. But Kyo asks him a question. He's like, "Oh, if you are able to go to Inter High, like, will you confess if after at the end?" And he like Taiki's like thinking of everything that will happen after confession, like up until marriage. Yeah. Anyways, he's like, yeah, but like I don't want to confess up until like everything ends, because if I confess and she rejects me, then that'll be awkward, and we'll have to stay in the same like place. Uh, so it'll be an awkward situation. I don't want to put Chinatsu senpai through that. You know. So yeah, and he says like like sometimes like people say it's better to regret doing something and then regret not doing, but in this situation, I think in like ignoring her own situation to force my needs on her is not something that I should do. And he was like, "Damn, you you grew up." Later, we see the teacher Yamamo, I think that's his name, like treating like Haru and the other guy, and he's like gave them like 500 yen like budget to buy anything, and they literally brought in Taiki and Kyo as well. And he's like, what the hell, like I told you only you two, but Taiki and Kyo is also included now, so they also get 500 yen each. And Taiki's like, oh, what should I buy? And then he thinks about like going to places, the resort, beach, and everything, all that stuff. But in the end, like he's like oh, I should ask Chinasu senpai that we should go somewhere else. I think she might say yes. And then they buy their snacks and come outside, and they see all the girls are also there. And I was thinking, is Sensei going to pay for everyone? But then Sensei runs away when he realizes that they're literally going to put all the like expenses on him. Anyways, this is where Hina sees Taiki and decides to take action. She goes and takes his karage, and she's like, "Oh, I'll take this." And Chinasu sees that, and she also says like, you know what? On the day, I'll bring you bento, so don't worry, you better win. So Chinasu comes, and Chinasu also gets a karage, obviously because Hina got it, and she comments on how she's jealous because obviously like Hina and Taiki doesn't have to hide their friendship, unlike her situation. Yeah. Yeah, and then she's like, oh, thank you for the karage, and I'll give my best. And he's like, oh, she said she's jealous. Was she talking about the karage? And I'm like, yeah, that's what you think she was talking about? Okay. Obviously, he has a feeling, but obviously he cannot really jump the gun because he himself said that I think she might be favorable towards my confession, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to take any risks. I'm going to confess after everything ends. Okay, and there you go. That was today's episode number 7 of Aono Hako. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Aono Hako. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.